Hey there, and good evening, everyone. This is Trader Tim from over at eminimind.com, bringing you a Monday market analysis video for the week. Today is the 23rd of October, 2017, and we've had a pretty big shift in sentiment today. We're going to talk about the E-mini S&P, some individual stocks, what to look for in the week ahead. Tomorrow morning, we'll be doing a live trading session. You can check that out over at eminimind.com/VIP. So if we start off with a bigger picture on the daily chart, we can see today's price action closing a bearish engulfing pattern, simply meaning the high and the low are encompassing of the previous day's high and low. So today we gapped up, opened higher, and then closed below Friday's low rather. We had a pretty much slow grind all the way down. And so when we get this kind of price action, a gap up at highs, and then a grind slowly into the close, we have a very good chance that we will at least move sideways, some sort of pullback here. And last week I drew up these three trend lines. We have sort of the shallow, the mid, and then the very steep trend line. And it's, most likely now that we have touched the negative 61.8% target from our 50% retracement long, and we've pretty much moved straight up from the negative 23% target to the 61.8. Moving now sideways to slightly down, maybe into this next trend line is very likely. And not becoming overly bearish by any means, but just sort of a pullback to this trend line would be the first place I'd be looking for. If I draw an extension from highs to highs, that puts us at 25.32. Still very bullish. But if we take a look at some individual stocks, we can kind of see things might be rolling over or changing a little bit. If we start with the top line figures, the S&P following this nice trending move higher, pulling back to the trend line, bouncing, pulling back again last week, and then bouncing. And so again, a move sideways to slightly down, the pullback to the trend line would be healthy. The Dow pretty much looking the same. NASDAQ a little bit flatter already at the top, not putting in a new high, instead selling off a little bit earlier. And then lastly, the Russell also very flat up here at highs. So still a bull flag, but I'm a little bit more cautious now. We've got the volatility index that had that spike last week on Thursday that coincided with the decline in the S&P, but then the S&P rallied into the close, and then the VIX sold off. But that was kind of the first spike we've seen in a couple of weeks here in the volatility index. Today, rising and holding above 11. I'd want to see some continuation in the volatility index increasing if we're to get a continued decline in the S&P. Not really crazy high volume on today's decline, compared to Friday's hammer formation. We had increasing volume on the move up. So again, I'm not throwing in the bullish towel and becoming completely bearish, but this is the first time we've had a bearish engulfing pattern up here at highs in this whole move up. Some of those individual stocks, the tech sector, the bigger names, the Googles that I pulled up here, very similar to each other, all kind of selling off pretty hard. Google, Amazon being the other one, bigger selling with bigger volume and not near highs. So Amazon has earnings coming up. We've got a handful of earnings that are going to be coming out. Microsoft looking pretty strong compared to Apple, which is sort of just kind of in the middle of its range. So Microsoft has earnings coming up. Google and Apple and Amazon all sort of just kind of hanging out in the middle of the range, well off their highs. Netflix is one that I do like. It's been trending up since this pullback after the last earnings announcement. Just released earnings and had a little bit of a pullback, but just pulled back to the 50% and potential for some sort of a bounce here. We'll see if we get that. The other names that I like, Home Depot, still looking pretty good. The Abbott's, the healthcare sector of Abbott and Cigna also looking very good. The stocks that we typically see going into the holidays, like FedEx and UPS, I also like. They've got earnings coming up as well. So if you're trading stocks, be on the lookout for those earnings announcements. And it's helpful to go through some of the individual stocks to get a sense of what the broader market might do. If you get a lot of hammers setting up on the individual stocks, it's likely that we might see a rally in the broader market. So with today's solid kind of trending day to the downside, I'll be looking for more of that this week, maybe some sideways movement towards this next trend line. And we kind of have some support back here, maybe around the 2550, just being that round number. So a move back to 2550 would be a possibility. On the economic news front this week, we do have GDP on Friday as well as consumer sentiment, and then new home sales Wednesday, jobless claims Thursday. So should be a good week in the markets. Should be some opportunities to take some good trading intraday, as well as maybe initiate some new positions on the swing trading front. You can tune in tomorrow morning, Tuesday, at emoneymind.com/VIP. We'll talk through the markets as they unfold in the morning, do some live trades, and answer any questions that you have. So hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.